But first, we have breaking news this morning. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon has died near Tel Aviv. His family reports just moments ago he died after being on life support for 8 years. Sharon had suffered a massive stroke at the height of his power. He was 85 years old.
Sharon was one of Israel's most controversial leaders and one of its boldest military leaders. Bob Simon looks back at Ariel Sharon's life.
Ariel Sharon was the last of Israel's leaders to have fought in the Jewish state's War of Independence. He was there at the beginning. He was always there. You couldn't miss him. He was colossal. He was controversial. Everything he ever did was hailed and condemned. He may well have saved the Jewish state. In 1973, when Israel was under siege in the Yom Kippur War, General Ariel Sharon disobeyed orders and took his forces across the Suez Canal into Egypt. He might have been cashiered for this if it weren't for the fact that his move won the war. He became a founding member of the right-wing Likud party. Its platform, the West Bank and Gaza, are integral parts of the Jewish state, never to be surrendered despite their Palestinian majorities.
All those communities that we build, they are not obstacle to peace, they are obstacle to war.
In 1982, as Minister of Defense, he invaded Lebanon. It was his war and his most monumental mistake. It took Sharon 6 days to get to Beirut. It took Israel 18 years to get out. In September of '82, hundreds of Palestinians were massacred by Lebanese Christians in Beirut's Sabra and Shatila refugee camps. An Israeli commission concluded that Sharon was indirectly responsible and recommended he be removed from the defense ministry. He was. In September 2000, Sharon insisted on visiting Jerusalem's Temple Mount, sacred to Jews and to Muslims. Palestinians were enraged. The Second Intifada began the next day. Less than 6 months later, he was elected prime minister. Then, in 2004, Sharon shocked the nation by announcing plans to withdraw from Gaza, to evacuate Israeli settlements there. It was an about-face of historic proportions. Ariel Sharon, the renegade, had become a world statesman. He said he was ready to negotiate with the Palestinians. With the exception of David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, Ariel Sharon has likely been the most dominant figure in the history of the Jewish state.
I covered Ariel Sharon when he sued Time magazine back in the late 1980s, and what Bob says is true. Everything about him was colossal, both his physical size and his reputation.
You know, his son has now released a statement saying that his father decided to die today. And earlier in the week, we had heard that his health was deteriorating rapidly, so at 85.
85.